It's a little unexpected. Day 4 on day 3 on December 27th. I got Frank out of his eggnog coma.
Oh, yeah, eggnog coma for sure. I can't find it.
That's fine. You got any kids at the house?
I got them all here.
Oh, they're all at the house still.
Well, yeah, well, my two boys went over to Frankie's last night, so they probably won't show up here until later today.
They're probably still up from last night, Frank. It's only 9:30 in the morning. I mean, that's kind of how it goes over at the Scalish residence over the holidays, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they showed up on the 23rd, and the night
so they're 5 full days in right now.
Oh yeah, and I'm rugged. That's all I can tell you.
Brian says I can confirm that it was a late night.
100%. Yeah, and I'm rugged, man. When Noah and Josh got in, we plied ourselves pretty good till the wee hours of the morning, the first night, and then
who's the antagonizer isn't the word. Who's the precipitator of the social events? Like, we've had Josh and Frankie on the show. We've not had Noah on the show yet.
No, I'm gonna say Noah. He's got a very quiet, commanding demeanor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who kicks off the hey, and starts tossing around Dr. Peppers and Coca-Colas?
That's Noah for sure.
Oh, so that's Noah. So he's quiet but deadly.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the ex-Marine in him.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And then Frankie's no slouch either. And when the three idiots get together, Frankie,
does your daughter join in on that too? That's the one who's out in California that you've gone and visited, who graduated, right?
Yes, she will partake. For sure.
That just sounds like chaos to me.
It's chaotic fun. This year I wanted to do Christmas. I wanted to do Christmas just with the kids and their spouses. And I got my wish this year, which was great. It was fantastic.
I just realized. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, no, mine is more of a logistics issue. So I have the camera here, and we'll get back to this, and I just realized it. I got to go full screen for this. So this is the new hat, and I see Matt Becker on there. It's his Just Catch More Bass hat that I ordered for myself for Christmas. However, when I turn to read the comments and look at it, it looks like as though I'm wearing an ass hat. It's literally like the perfect angle. Can you see that, Frank?
As plain as day, dude. And I wouldn't change it. Don't change a thing. Don't change a thing.
I've literally got an ass hat on. But no, I got that. I ordered that off of Matt Becker. See, it says here. It says,
"Just catch more bass."
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, a long time ago when
I guess I'm going with the ass hat all show. I don't know. I might have to change that.
No, you can't change that. You can't change that because every now and then you could see the part of the bee. So it's perfect. Okay. I think you should leave it, actually.
I do have a picture of me as a youngster with a sweatshirt that just says Bass. It is a Bass Angler Sportsman Society shirt, and I'm giving the thumbs up, but the wrinkle completely covers the bee.
Yeah, my son Josh has a shirt like that when he played flag football, and the wrinkle covered up the L.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I have it in the
Clay
house.
Williamson saying, "Remember the kids at school picture day with the ass master shirt." Listen, we're keeping things above board, but I couldn't help but notice that. Sorry. Okay, back to, I might have to change the hat. I love the hat. It's a Richardson 112. I got it off of the Matt Becker website.
If it's bugging you to the point where you have to change it,
it looks good. I mean, it's a great looking hat, but I mean, that's all I see now. That's all you. I mean,
that's because you pointed out the obvious, dude. If you'd have just let it go, most people, because okay, so a little bit of design for you guys.
Well, most people are, just profile their whole time. Like I need to, if I look at the camera like that.
You just every now and then you can just do that, just to let them know that there is another letter there. But with design, okay, if I was going to draw a circle,
yeah,
and I drew most of the circle and didn't complete it, your eye completes the circle. And so everybody that watches this show is used to seeing BASS. So their brain will automatically go to BASS and not the ASS. You follow me?
That's a valid point. Boy, we were trying to just wrap up the show with a nice holiday edition, and we may have just gotten canceled.
That is so true. We're so screwed.
Just totally back. So no, you had them all there for Christmas. Do you guys still do the gifts around the tree, and you dig into it on Christmas Day, and everybody?
Yeah, we do. Not to the extreme. When they're kids, it's different. You pile them up and you watch them open presents and you laugh your brains out. But no, it's a little more subdued now. But it's a lot of fun just to have them all back home. Temporarily.
What is the best Christmas present you have ever given someone? Like, was there one where you had, Frankie was just, I gotta have it, or Josh was like, I need that, and then they got it, and they just erupted into just chaotic joy?
I have no idea.
Really? There's not one that sticks out?
There's none that stick out in my head. There's none. I've gone through way too many Christmases, and I don't. The best times we have are sitting around the kitchen table. To be honest with you.
Do you cook? Are you the chef for the week?
I did this time. I made a brisket and salmon.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Browns game?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. We all did.
Are you getting optimistic? Like, or is there kind of like a little bit of
Okay, so this is a great question. So at my age, I saw the Browns back in the day be great. The Bernie Kosar days be really good. I saw the Cardiac Kids before Kosar, the Cardiac Kids when they always won at the end. You know what I mean? And then when Modell took the team to Baltimore, I boycotted the Browns football for 6 years. And so I boycotted it. Okay. Noah got into football real heavily. And so I started watching him again. And for 29 years, all I do is swear and throw shit at the TV. Because you just could never depend on them. But this year is crazy because if you think about it, and I won't go down the sports road, but we're going to go down it for a second. So this year we've got like 30% of our highest paid players out of the game. We've lost them most of the year. We don't have them now. We're playing backups and we're still winning games. And the bringing in of Flacco was brilliant because Flacco's so stoic and calm because of his experience. He's making a lot of things happen for the Browns right now that currently weren't happening. He opened up the big plays to get us touchdowns. And we've got one of the best field goal kickers in the NFL who got hurt last game. And we didn't have a kicker for 2 quarters. And so we just tried to get a touchdown every single time. And it paid off because we got a couple extra touchdowns out of the deal. And the Browns are legit, man. Frankie wasn't kidding. The Browns are legit this year.
Is it safe to say that like Flacco, let's equate Flacco, let's make this fishing terms. Like you've had Flacco was the Carolina rig that had been relegated to the rod box and no one really thought that it was applicable anymore. And you find a hard spot offshore and all of a sudden you pull the Carolina rig out and you're like, holy cow, this thing still catches him. That's Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
He was kind of sitting on the couch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was actually. He was actually. He was still working out and training,
Mhm.
but nobody picked him up, and he was just sitting there. And then we had a golden opportunity, and we took it. Thank God, because he's a difference maker.
Do you think? I mean, are we? I'm not even going to ask you how far you think they're going to go.
Yeah, don't ask that.
We'll move on to some fishing stuff. It's still so it's December 27th, and you're still
Right.
fishing like with relative ease, right? Open water, catching.
Catching. The key word is open water and catching. Yes, absolutely.
Did you get on the water over the holiday break at all?
Oh yeah, 100% did. You guys know that I've been messing around with forward facing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the crappie game. I really haven't gone after bass on it on purpose yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had gone out the other day, and the lake that I was on had mixed species, crappie, smallmouth, largemouth. Um, a lake that I don't really target the smallmouth on, truthfully, because the population is very minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
But the crappies are Magambo, and so I had gone out there and was basically chucking around jerk baits and for largemouth and catching them. I was catching them, mostly blind casting for them. I wasn't scoping them. The pattern was relatively simple. It took me a minute to get on the pattern. Basically, the fish were behaving kind of not normal. It's traditionally a grass lake, and they sprayed it or dropped pellets or something,
Mm-hmm.
and the grass is not as good as it was. So the normal jerkbait bite that I get this time of year was non-existent. So I pretended it was a structure lake, and I just started running points and secondary points. Of course, looking for the bait fish because that's important this time of year. And I caught a bass probably a half hour into the morning. I caught a bass,
That's a
and
good
I
start.
and the bell went off in my head, and I just started catching them. I ran the pattern that I assumed was going to happen after I caught that first one, and it was correct. And the bass were on all the inside turns of these points, except for one point. They were out on the end, which was not synonymous with the pattern. I caught them on the end of this one point and on the inside swing. So the only thing I could surmise was the point was shallow enough to take them out to the end, because most of the other points had a drop off on them. You know what I mean? And this one was kind of gradual and shallow, so it kept them out on the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I decided that I'm going to work my way um, up the lake, uh, because I wanted to stay, because I was jerkbait fishing, so I didn't want to get into the muddy water. So I was just going to gradually work my way up the lake, and there's a big flat up there, and there's a double point that comes out on this flat. Anyway, to make a long story short, I said, if there's a largemouth there, they're going to be right there. And so I went over there and started jerk baiting. And as I was scoping, okay, saw a stump. Actually, there was a couple of stumps out there. I saw the couple of stumps, and I saw the blaze orange. You know how when
Oh, is this our first
that's
forward-facing
our
sonar drawing
video.
in the
Yes,
history of day 4?
it is absolutely. So
We're going to talk about this later for those folks. We're going to actually kind of go into our game plan for what we're going to do in 2024 to deal with this new technology, and I think we have it handled very
yes,
nicely. But
it's gonna.
continue.
So this is kind of how it would appear. Okay, you could see the drop off here. It
That's
had
a
a
good
couple
drawing.
of it had a couple of stumps right before the edge, and I noticed on this particular stump, I noticed a couple of highlighted
Yep.
spots. So
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, nice glowed up big Easter eggs. Well, what happened was that morning, this is the irony of the whole damn thing. So that morning before I left, I was indisposed. And as I was indisposed, I said, oh, Milliken's got a Demiki rig video. I'm going to watch it. Kill some time. Put two birds with one stone. So I was watching it. And I was
canceled.
What's
this
that?
Be the last show ever. We're totally done after this, Rick. We have sunk our own ship.
We're gonna have to go.
So good for 2 years.
We're gonna have to go to Bass Talk Live after midnight.
I could just picture everyone on Christmas break over there at Lure Net, all the families gathered. Oh, let's see what Frank's up to.
And we
watch YouTube on the can. What does that hat say?
That's right. What are they doing? They're ruining everything.
Okay, continue. So, you're indisposed. You're watching the video.
Yeah. So I'm watching Ben. I'm watching Ben do his thing, and I'm thinking in my head, the lake I'm going to, I know it has similar stuff to it. I said, man, if I get the opportunity, I'm doing it. So I got to the lake and I rigged a Demiki rod up, and I got a neat little thing I'm working on for Demiki rigs.
Oh yeah.
And I rigged it up, and I didn't have the exact thing I wanted, the exact rod reel line combination I wanted, but it was good enough, and to get the job done. And so I get to this double point and I see the stump. So I lob the Demiki rig out there. Now here's we're going to get into detail because I'm going to take you through my learning transition of forward facing in future episodes, how I did what I did to get where I'm at. Okay. So not that I'm great at it, because I'm not great at it.
Which is why this is a great continue with the day, and then we'll get into what we're going to do in 2024.
Okay. So I see the thing. So the first thing I got to do is I got to go. I'm scoped out at 60 feet because I have a Gen 1 and it's not good at past 60 feet. I mean, you can see, but you can't. The bait, it's not good. So anyway, I'm zoomed in at 60. The stump's at 40. The fish is hot. So I know I'm right in front of them. So I lobbed the Demiki rig out there and I threw it too far. Okay. So when I got my drop, I dropped way behind the bass. And I actually couldn't see the lure, to be honest with you. I couldn't see the lure. So I was reeling it in. I was trying to find the lure, reeling it in. I got the lure on the screen just above the bass where you want it. And the bass tracked it. And for some reason, the way the wind was blowing, it just moved me enough where I lost the lure and the bass. And so I started to pivot the trolling motor around to get back on them. And I saw the bass starting to just swim away. Well, all of a sudden, my line tightens up and I'm like, holy shit, I got him. So I lean in on it and I got him. And it's a big one. And I'm fighting him to the boat. It's a nice smallmouth. And I lose him because I never, I really never really got the fish. I was just so enamored with the fact that he got my Demiki rig. So I'm like, damn it. So I reeled in real quick. There was another one there. The one that was tucked in on the top of the stump.
Did he get hot when the other one chased it? Yep.
Yes. So when mine came off and swam back, this one started going. I flipped it out there again. I landed right a foot past that stump. That rig started to sink down. I started to work it. He comes out and just rails on it. So I got him. And these are smallmouth. So now I'm like, holy crap, I'm catching smallies doing this. This is fantastic. So I stayed, I caught a couple more, and then I saw some more hot spots that looked really good. I fired the rig out there, and of course they're all 15 and 16-inch crappie. So I'm like, holy smokes, man. So it was a great day. Yeah, it was a good day. I caught largemouth, crappies, smallies. But the smallies and the crappie I scoped. I only scoped one largemouth with the jerkbait because it was there and he was tracking the jerkbait and I was on the jerkbait and I saw him coming up for it. So I got to tease him a little bit and then stop it and shake it, and he'd come up and nose at it, and I pulled it a little bit and he'd follow it and stop. And then I shook it and he just went thunk and I got him. But it was a lot of fun. But you want to tease, you want to go for it, Matt? Say
Yeah.
what you're okay.
So here's what I was thinking. So we're in a odd time of transition right now because forward facing sonar is such a big part of fishing. But one of the things that I think a lot of the listeners and viewers appreciate about you is you're still very adept and rely on old school tactics as far as 2D graphing, side imaging, setting up. And I think it's a good thing that you haven't had the forward facing sonar because there's a lot of guys that don't have it.
Right.
So I don't want to lose that element of day 4. But also, I think that there's a lot to be learned from a guy like you who has been there, done it, fished professionally for decades at the top level, design all these lures. And I think there's also I know there is because I get messages about it, about guys who don't have it yet or are just putting it on their boats. And now there's all this stuff out there, guys running 4 and 5 units and how they're doing all this, but just the basics, like hold that picture up again. Just the basics of what you're looking for and what you're walking through and what you're doing, I think is very valuable. So this is what I proposed before the show is next year we continue to do our day 4 like we typically do with the 2D, with idling over fish, with figuring out, with seasonal patterns and transitions and all this. But then we give our listeners and our loyal viewers an additional 6 to 10 shows next year. That's a little bit more work on our end, but they are forward-facing sonar heavy shows. So if you want the typical day 4 without it, and we'll still kind of incorporate it in like we have, you'll get that. But we're not going to turn day 4 into a forward-facing sonar.
No.
But if you are and you're just getting into it, there'll be 6 to 10 additional day 4s, not taking away from anything that you've known to come and love, that will be forward-facing sonar shows on day 4 where you can have all of your diagrams and graphs and things that you're learning as you grow and learn with forward-facing.
Right. So that, with that statement being said, I rely very heavily on my mapping and my 2D sonar always. I fish instinctual. Okay. So I use everything I've learned over the course of time to find and locate fish, which, let's be honest, that's 100% of the battle.
Yep.
Is finding them. And so that part of everything never ever will go away because that's who I am in here. That's how I think in my head when I'm fishing. It's always about finding them, finding them, finding them. I'll figure out how to catch them once I find them. And so that's the deal. This forward-facing sonar game, I am not an expert at it.
Which is perfect.
I don't claim to be. Frankie's 10 times better at it than I am.
Oh, look, there's Frankie.
Dude, what the heck, man? You're muted or something.
You got volume, Frankie?
Can't hear you.
He can hear us, but we can't hear him. Just log back out and log back in. You got something to do with your audio. It was a last minute deal. I actually sent him the link during the show.
You're a sneaky guy, Matthew.
I can't. We got no audio. Can you hear us? Oh, you can hear us. Just log out, log back in. Make sure when it says to test your audio that you test it and you see it pinging. You probably have something else open that is blocking your audio. So
anyhow, I am not an expert. So what you're going to get with these forward-facing sonar episodes is how I learned my learning curve day forward. Dude, that's fantastic.
That might work.
That is fantastic. And so what you're going to get is how a guy who never used it before, and my entire life was relied on 2D sonar, how I never used it before. And when I kept telling you guys from the onset, when Frankie put this thing in my boat with me, that I'm going to use it to enhance my normal fishing. I'm not going to become this scoper only guy, because that's not how I fish, and that's not how, that's not how my makeup is. Do I like it? Yes. Is it fun? Absolutely. And does it catch me extra fish? It does. So, but what I'm going to take you through is my learning curve, how I practiced and practiced and practiced and never really bass fished over it until the other day. And I've had it for a year. Because there's things you got to get used to. There's things you have to understand about it. And so I wanted to make sure that before I started chasing bass and get frustrated because I can't catch them, or I don't know what I'm looking at, more importantly, what you're looking at, I needed to get more efficient at it. So I spent a lot of time crappie fishing. I used it in the beginning, honestly, to find my structural element, to stay on a weed edge. I used it to enhance what I normally do. Like if I'm crankbaiting grass edges, I used it to make sure that I didn't waste 10 casts throwing it up in the grass. Now I can get it down the edge of the grass, the crankbait, and have more success because I'm making more accurate casting. So that's initially how I started with the forward facing. Structure fishing was another thing, because I know, like, when I find a structure, let's say I find a rock pile, the first thing I do, besides hit a waypoint on it, obviously, the first thing I do is when I make a cast and I'm in the goods, I immediately look up and look around me and I cross triangulate. So if I can see shore, I immediately cross triangulate where I'm at. So if I lose my position for some reason, all I got to do is go back up and I can go that tree to that boulder, the corner of that house to that telephone pole, and I'm right there. I know exactly where I'm at. This is second nature to me. It's like turning a blinker on in a car. The minute I hit something that I need to be on, I immediately cross triangulate it and I'm good to go. Now, if I get blown around, or if I'm fighting a fish and I get off the waypoint, or I get off the mark, I just look up, look where I'm at, troll the motor back to where I made the cast. And then I'm good to go. So now with forward facing sonar, all I got to do is pivot the head and go up. There it is. Okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? And then I'll get to my area, and then I'll go to my cross triangulation mark to make the right cast, because structure fishing a lot of times is your cast angle. If you have the right cast angle when you're structure fishing and you catch them, generally that's the angle you need. And so at that point, forward facing is keeping me in the area where now I have my cross triangulation above the water visual. Now I have my forward facing sonar underwater visible. You know what I mean? Because here, look, it's one thing to find it side imaging and mark it. Then you got it. It's another thing when you actually get the bite. Okay? Because when you get the bite, that is the telling factor right there. And so now I can concentrate on my cast angle, where I'm at, and I'm all between my eyes above the water, my eyes below the water, and a waypoint. Now I got a boat position and I can make the same cast over and over again. So it's pretty neat.
I like it. There's a couple guys that are like, man, I want that Norman Lure shirt. So naturally I went to LureNet to see if they had it on there. That is not currently up there, but I did find what I believe to be probably one of the best deals on LureNet, which is, look at this Screaming Eagle throwback t-shirt for $8.99.
Oh, that's a bargain, dude. Where are you going to get a tee for $8.99?
Especially one, I mean, it's the actual War Eagle Screaming Eagle tee, so I thought that was cool. Let's see if Frankie has audio. We got audio now, Frankie? Oh, we still have no audio.
Can't unplug your speakers.
Come on. You got me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all, how about now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but we got static in the background now. Just unplug the headset, so just run it off of the... Do you hear the static in the background, Frank?
Yeah, it sounds like a motor running.
Probably the fan on this laptop, honestly.
Oh, it's all good. No, I just wanted to get you on just to see. I mean, Frank said it was borderline chaos over the last couple of days. Or just see what the holiday season's been like for Frank Jr. You got a bunch of people following your BFL career, fishing regionals, jumping on the water, teaching Frank the forward facing sonar tips and tactics. It's been a big year for you, Junior.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's anytime my brothers are around, it's chaotic and it's a mess always. Hey, I don't know how late they were up. I went to bed at 12:30 this morning and I was up at 7. So they're all still sleeping. So I ran out to the garage to do this thing. What's up, Ryan?
I gotcha. I asked Frank before and he couldn't remember the most memorable Christmas gift in the Scalish household. Does anything ring a bell with you?
Most memorable gift? I don't know, man.
For Eddie, but I mean, was there ever one where the house just exploded when the gift was open?
I think.
Yeah, but that was on the Godfather.
Oh yeah. Well, I meant like with joy, not actually. Merry Christmas.
No, growing up, Dad used to be really good at guessing. He would guess really well what he got. One year, Rach got him Bass Monopoly. I still think he cheated.
I didn't cheat.
He shook the box and he's like, "Oh, you got me Bassmaster Monopoly or whatever it was." I'm like,
"Yes,
on, man.
That is true."
Did you ask for it, or you just literally guessed?
No, I didn't ask for it. Just like I would never ask for that singing fish.
Oh my god, terrible! That thing's
Frank,
terrible.
What are you doing next year? You all in on the BFLs again?
Probably. I know Ryan and I got a lot of filming to do for this little deal we're building, so it's going to be a tough balance, I think.
Oh, was that like a little teaser? Or?
Well, you know, I mean,
a shameless plug.
I'm not plugging anything. You asked me what's going on.
No, he's welcome to plug it. I give you full permission to plug whatever you're doing, Frankie.
So me and my two buddies, Ryan Hartman and John
He's
Barker.
on all the time.
Yeah, Ryan's
you know, we all want to be in this industry, and Matt, as you know, as well as everybody is, if you don't have your social media building, and you're not making YouTube videos, there's no sponsorship.
It's an uphill climb.
Yeah, there's no sponsorship in your future, and you know, with my wife having 2.5 more years of vet school to go, now's a good time to build. So it's going to be a balance between tournaments and then all of us getting together and filming and building this little deal we're doing.
I like it. So just be on the lookout for something in 2024.
Somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, it's been fun already. I'm excited to get back out in the spring and stuff and what's left of this winter before we freeze.
What are your thoughts on your dad learning the forward facing sonar for so many years, and then especially recently once you got into the tournament fishing? I would imagine the script was flipped. You've talked about it on the show about, you know, kind of learning from Frank, like we all have over the past day fours, is how to find fish and pattern them and catch them. And then all of a sudden this new technology, and you kind of have the upper hand on the old man, so to speak, for a little while. Has that been interesting watching him kind of learn and adapt to the new technology? Because I mean, we just talked about it for the last 30 minutes and we're going to do some shows. I mean, he's Frank, you're adapting very, very rapidly. I mean, there's none of this, screw it, I'm sticking with the 2D. Like you're adapting with it without completely uprooting the last 40 years of bass fishing knowledge.
No, I can't uproot it because that's how I made my thing.
I knew once I gave that to him, it would take him probably 3 times out, and then he's probably going to get obsessed with it. And I was 100% correct.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Clay says Frank is going to be all the way before long. Hard to dig a pool with a spoon when you have an excavator.
No, he won't. There's no way. No way. There's no way he'll become solely relying on it or chasing fish across the lake. He's still going to do what he does because he's been doing it for, 50 years.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think he's gonna swim in the pool that he builds with the excavator, but then he's gonna go find the natural springs and still take a dip into the natural springs and the glacial lakes and stuff. So I mean, it's not all gonna. I can't ever see you not doing it old school.
No, there's no way. There's no way. That's how I love fishing that way. I love instinctual fishing. It's been successful for me. Most of how I started out with the forward facing has been just that. I find the fish and then I look at them, see what they look like. Because I don't know anything about forward facing. So I see what they look like. I'll call Frankie. I can't get this adjustment right. What do I got to do? And he'll tell me, he'll walk me through it. The first time I ever, go ahead. What's that?
Did you try shutting it off and turning it on?
Oh, that fixes everything. That's every time I call Scott from the Bass Tank, that's the first thing. And 90% of the time I'm like, oh yeah, we're good.
Except for when that phone call comes in, it's always he's on the water and super frantic. I don't know how to get this thing to work.
I think that's like, everybody, because no one actually understands how it works. To some extent, it's all witchcraft to us, unless you're one of the few guys like a Scott or really mechanically who actually understands what the heck's going on.
Well, so that's why I thought it was important with him to start with the Lowrance first.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, and it's free.
Well, yeah, but even so, dude, like there's so few adjustments with the Lowrance, compared to the Garmin. I had the Garmin on my Stratos, and it's adjustments for days. Now, once you get it all dialed in, then you tweak for watercolor and depth and whatever. But the Lowrance I think it's a lot easier to use functionality wise, but I think live scope still has its edge. And I think after this season playing with it and you go to Garmin, I think it'll be a lot easier to use the Garmin functionally, like searching and finding your stuff. So like, I know when I jump in Ryan's boat, he's got live scope, I've got AT2, and I notice how much easier it is. Like I'm way more accurate with the live scope in the sense that it's easier to see my bait. I'm pretty good with my AT2 and finding baits, even when I was throwing hair at Dale Hollow and Demikis at Dale Hollow. I can still do it because I'm used to the AT2, but man, honestly, that live scope's so much easier to find your stuff with.
It is. It's just or you could just be like 90% of the guys out there now and put a 360 on and then run Lowrance mapping and the what is it, live site, and then also run the 34 deucer on a Garmin, and then throw one in perspective, and then put a saltwater on a turret, and then end up and then put two off of the back. And
I run 4 drafts on my boat.
Yeah, I run 3.
Last year I ran 3 total, 1 up front all last year, and then I added 360 and. I'll never not have it.
Frank runs 2 in case you have a meltdown and punt one off.
Right.
You got to back up. In case you just got to take it out on one of them.
I have a rope and a rock.
Well, they literally used to use window weights. That was what they did. So like there would be a metal bar, and I learned this from a guy named Rooster who started fishing Gunnersville when they filled the lake up. This is no joke.
That's why they call them knots, by the way.
What?
Yeah, they would tie knots in the rope and let the rope down.
Huh.
Anyway, we'll go with your story.
He would tie it to the rope, and then he would drag the wind. This isn't just him. This is how they used to do bottom composition and depth, and when you find the channel and things like that. And you would drag it until you felt a different vibration through the rope, or in case when it got hung or when it fell off and it wasn't on the bottom. And that's how they trolled the bottom. That's how they figured out where the channels were, where the shell beds, where the hard spots, where the stumps, was taking a window weight, which it was like a strip of lead, right? I mean,
it's a lead tube.
And
it's solid. It's not hollow. It's solid. Yeah. Oh, they're heavy too. They're heavy.
Yep.
That's how all my windows are in the house. This house, they're all
So
leaded and roped.
there you go.
See, you learn something new. That's like prehistoric technology.
Yeah, that's the earliest
That's right.
technology. And you know, there was some guy who all he did was go out and fish to be like, ah, dang guys and their fancy window weights.
Right. They're gonna ruin the sport.
They're gonna catch every fish in the lake with these window weights down
They're
there.
gonna ruin
You'll
the
never
sport.
you'll never catch me dragging a window weight.
Well, that's what they said about the spoon when it came out too. It was going to ruin bass fishing.
Yeah, and the A-rig.
Yeah.
The A-rig was like the real first where everybody was like, yeah, it should be banned, it should be illegal.
Yeah, that was October of 2011. Paul Elias on the Gunnersville bridges. You know, that guy was trying to give away A-rigs to anybody he could in parking lots and at pro events, and like almost all the guys had him in the boat because he'd given away so many. None of them had used them. I think Skeet had used one a little bit, and that's why a lot of guys were able to get him, was because they're like, oh, I remember this guy, was walking around the parking lot giving them out.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about that? Here's the funny thing about that is, if you don't understand it, you don't have success with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's just it in a nutshell. And it's like any lure made. If you don't understand what that lure is specifically designed for, you're not going to have great success with it, no matter what lure it is. And if you do understand it, your success is going to jump up fairly rapidly if you understand. Like the crankbait show we did a while back, the different way different bill designs dive down and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that should open doors for people, because it's a big deal. I mean, that's really how you crankbait fish. So
Mm-hmm. Got anything else, Frankie? I just wanted to have you jump on.
I appreciate it, dude.
Nice seeing you. Are they up yet?
Yeah, Kelsey just came in and said they were about to start making breakfast. So
little hair of the dog to kick things off.
You should.
Not me. I didn't even get drunk last night. I know they did.
You should throw Noah in front of the camera so everyone could see. Then you'll see my children.
I'd have to go get them. I'm out in the garage, dude.
Oh, all right. Forget it. Another day, another dollar.
Got a nice little setup going on there.
You want a little spin?
Sure.
All right, give us a tour.
It's a mess.
Slow down.
Fine. There it is, right there. Look at that. All shiny. Fits in there perfect.
Shiny.
Yes, he's happy.
Perfect. I like it, Frankie.
Yeah, man. Got lucky with this house. This garage is where it's at.
Yeah, I got lucky with mine. Driveway and a boat cover is where it's at.
Yeah, how's Frankie end up with a shop, and you've got to dust the snow off every time you want to make a cast?
I have a pickier wife.
Life choices, my man. Life choices.
The rig doesn't fit in your garage?
Oh gosh, no, dude. Even if I can't get it between the doors, but even if I could, it would be 2 feet too short.
Dude, well, he couldn't back his Ram in his garage.
I can't tell you. I know multiple people who just took a sledgehammer to the drywall. Well, now, yours is a little bit different because you would then have a gaping hole in the back of your garage that would just be open air. But the people who have it going in the house, like, I mean, I know guys who just cut out just whack, 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 and then boom, that's where they trim it right so the prop goes right through it, and boom.
Well, when I got here, my plan was to blow the back of the garage out and make it deeper, and then take the divider out between the two doors and put
that'd be perfect.
Custom big door in. But the city won't give me the variance to do it.
Nope.
What?
That's why I live in the middle of nowhere.
Wait, what do you mean? So you cannot extend your garage like an extra 6 feet?
No, even though I've got probably 30 extra feet behind it.
What does that have to do with it? Why will they not give you the variance?
Because in 1919, there was a gravel road that ran behind everybody's garage doors, and that's where they picked up the trash. So they had a thing where you could have to be so many feet off that road.
Well, it's not doesn't even exist anymore.
No, it's all grown up wooded. It's a line of trees. big line of trees. And they wouldn't give me the variance.
Here comes the Southerner saying that's a Yankee. That's a Yankee law.
Yeah, 100%. But this is a lot of the reason I'm getting out of here, because I can't deal. There's too many damn rules.
Grinds your gears.
It does, man. It really does. The only
Pete
benefit
says, screw it. Just take things into your own hands, add on, and deal with the consequences later.
Yeah, I've done projects around here and have done that already. And and then when they come in and they do an assessment, your taxes go up. So
yeah, you got to get out of there, man.
I can't have that.
It's a cool house.
It is.
It was built in 1914.
It's very cool, and it apparently has the original windows.
Yeah, it's all lath and plaster, which is another issue. Most of the piping, I got rid of most of the galvanized and put copper and PVC. Part of the house is still knob and tube. Part of it's on Romex. So
it's a very cool house.
Thanks, man.
All right, holiday special. I just wanted to bring Junior in. Thanks for jumping on,
Franco. Peace out, my man. Hey, you got to let me know about this weekend, Frank.
Yeah, for sure. I started working on it last night. We'll be all right.
All right.
All right. Later
y'all.
Adios,
right.
bud.
Figure we'd bring Junior in there since he was up and on the show.
Awesome.
Always a nice addition. All right.
That was
mentioned
a surprise to me.
Yeah, no, it's all good. You mentioned the what's hot? No, on the no, that's the FX series.
Oh, the Speed N.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'm trying to get to it. Hold on.
Yeah, the FX series has been phenomenal.
Sold a couple of those.
Sold a few of those.
There it is.
Those colors are righteous.
Yep.
Here's a teaser on the FX series.
Oh.
I
don't get in trouble.
I'm not. I don't even care. It's coming out in the Perfect 10.
Oh.
In January. For those that know me, I love the P10 for bass fishing. I'm so stoked, and I hope to have those here before Friday.
And the 6 colors that you designed that are in the just a regular Rogue right now.
Yeah, because the P10 will dive deeper than the suspending Rattling Rogue, and it gives you a bigger body profile. And what I'm finding out is there's 2 things that happen as winter progresses. The bass will want a larger meal, and then in some cases they want a smaller one. It's up to you to figure that out on the lake you're on, and that's predicated on forage base and weed growth. And so I'm really excited because I catch a lot of really quality bass on the P10. So I'm really excited for that, and I can't wait. I have one box that's just full of P10s. I love that bait. I can't wait. The ones I painted it on, I painted by FX colors on the P10 bodies, but what I got was I got all the imperfect bodies to paint it on. And so I can't fish them. Otherwise, I'd have been fishing them for a year already. So now I'm going to have those ones, and it'll be good.
And then the Crawnificent and Dirty PG and Dirty
PB&J.
Dirty PJs, Dirty PB&J.
Yeah,
there it is right there. That's the bait you designed for that almost won the classic on Gunnersville a couple years ago, but a couple really cool colors in this bait. $7.99. Does the discount code still good? This is the last time we'll have that. I think it is through the end of the year.
Yeah, just till
Capital
the end.
VTL 23 at checkoff, 15% off regularly priced items. Is this a regularly priced item?
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah, so 15% off, $7.99.
Go to Crawnificent or whatever the heck, Crawnificent. So I got a picture yesterday from Luke Palmer. He had some monster stinking largemouth on that thing.
That might play in the Grand Classic coming up in March. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, it very, very could. It very well could.
So if you guys want to grab some stuff before the end of the year.
Yeah, so
BTL 23.
So there's a Speed N and a Speed N Junior. The Speed N Junior is a little bit smaller. The Speed N, I love that bait. I specifically designed it for the cold water periods, late fall, early winter, and then of course up here ice out until the pre-spawn. Even though you can fish them in the pre-spawn if you're on secondary points and stuff. But I fished it this summer and throttled them. I was on this lake, and the spawn was over. Bass were already getting offshore, and I found these shallow bars with immature grass on them, and I was running that thing over the immature grass in about 6 feet of water, 7 feet of water, and I absolutely demolished them on it. I couldn't believe. I mean, they were just choking on the thing. So it's a good bait seasonally. But the way it's tight action goes. It was really designed for the cold water period, but there's times in the warm season because you could burn that bait in too if you want to. You can honk it back and it tracks. So there were times this summer where it was just, I was like, oh, this is so much fun. I mean, I like going out and saying, well, I only need 2 rods today. That to me, that's fishing,
No, I agree. Also, now this does not count for the BTL discount, but there's a bunch of really good deals. You can get craw chunks $1.75, $1.99, bandits, bomber deep ace $3.49. Just click on the bargains and blowouts. Model A's, all sorts of really good colored crankbaits for $3. Here's bomber fat-free fingerlings $3.49. We're talking sexy shad, chartreuse shad, fire tiger, fat-free gut. Like, there's a bunch of good stuff that's there. I guess they're just getting rid of for the end of this year to get ready for the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
So check those out. What do we get fired? Are we good?
I'm just kidding. No, we're not fired yet.
He got quiet when you were reading something. I was worried about it, Frank.
Oh God, that was Powell Rods. That was Keith from Powell.
You got a new bundle of rods headed your way or something?
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I got the Naked Series. I got some Naked Series rods coming to me, and I should have them any minute now.
What'd you get? Like what models or what?
Some of the models. Okay, so some of the models I can't speak of because they're not out yet. I'm just going to field test it for a bit, but I'm getting a 764, some 764 spinning rods, which I can't wait because
7'6".
Yeah, 7.5 foot 4 power spinning rods. They're great for snatching tubes, drop shotting, and Demiki rigging. That's why I can't wait to get them because I'm going to be fishing them this weekend.
Jeffries used to do this at the end of every year, and I'd be like, "Oh, why the hell is he doing this? Like, let's just wrap this thing up." But now that I'm kind of running the show over at BTL. Not that I didn't appreciate the listeners and viewers before, but it is like my job doesn't exist without people downloading the show, watching the show, using the discount codes, sharing it, watching it on YouTube, iTunes, all the platforms. So as we close out the year, a sincere, heartfelt thank you to the listeners and viewers of BTL, the Monday through Wednesday show, but also the day 4 show. Blown away at the loyalty and how much I enjoy interacting not only with you on the show, but all of our listeners and viewers, and then how they go to bat and support LureNet, who sponsors the day 4, but also you, me, the entire BTL family. Greatly appreciated. And I don't always go that extra mile to show that, but cannot thank all of you guys enough for another great year. And because of that, more shows, bigger shows, better things coming in 2024, not only on BTL. Let the cat out of the bag, but I think we're probably adding between 30 and 40 shows next year across all the platforms, including, like we said, some of the forward-facing shows with you. We're doing a bunch of giveaways and things at the Bassmaster Classic at Grand Lake. If you guys haven't been to Tulsa, if you haven't been to a Bassmaster Classic Expo, this will be a great one to go to. It's a fantastic venue. The expo is fantastic. We'll be giving away. We've talked about what we're doing. 100. Did we talk about that?
I don't think so, but we can.
We can talk about it.
I guess so.
All right. So that's the hell. You already gave away rods that aren't out yet and colors that aren't out yet. So we might as well give away what the giveaway is for the baits. That's the color number 7 that exists because of the demand from the listeners, which sold out. The original you guys bought out in less than 3 minutes, crashed the site, then crashed the site again, funny. Then oversold them by 1,000, then created chaos at the LureNet headquarters.
Which was the best. That's the best Christmas gift I ever got. Right there. You guys, our audience is the best there is. There's none better. The fans of this show, the fans of BTL, the fans of Day 4 are the best there is. I will be at the Classic this year with Matt. I hope you guys can come out and see us. We'll have a really good time. I'm going to, we're going to be signing a bunch of stuff. Color number 7.
You're going to be signing a bunch of stuff.
No, we are.
I stand by and manage you.
We will be signing a bunch of stuff. It's really going to be a blast. My obligations are not too strict down there, so I'll have some freedom and flexibility. So get down there and we'll have a good time. I promise.
The merchandise, I have people that have talked about, we went through, we have finalized the merchandise. The Frank Scalish Signature Series shirts will come out in February prior to the Classic for a Classic drop. There will be some BTL merch at one of the booths at the Classic. And then stay tuned to both of our social medias for where and when we will be there, but very excited for the Bassmaster Classic next March and to spend some time hanging out with you, Frank.
It'll be fun.
And thank you. Wait. I mean, I change your schedule all around and say, hey, let's do it on a Wednesday. Let's do it on a Monday. Let's do a live. You kind of work around and have added tremendously to the BTL brand and the listeners, and thoroughly enjoy picking your brain both on and off air. So thank you very much for being a sounding board, a listening board, and for adding so much value to the show, to the program. I don't think you understand how much you are appreciated.
No, I appreciate that, dude. We developed a really great friendship over this, and one that I think is going to last quite a while.
I agree. I do wish we could air some of our off-air conversations.
I know. We would be banned in 10 minutes. We would be blackballed. You're out.
It would. Anything else you want to get in here before we wrap it up? I think I hear music coming in right there.
Good. Happy New Year, everybody.
There you go. I have to stop the music. We have to redo that ending because sometimes when I do the music, like you talk and then I talk, it like.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good now.
All right. Well, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody and be safe.
Happy New Year. Be safe, Frank. Catch him up. We'll see everybody in 2024. That's it. We're out.